We are here in the beautiful home of Linda and Gary Garff, a block from the Salt Lake Temple, downtown Salt Lake City. And it's a privilege to have some time today to talk a little bit about the temple experiences that have meant so much to all of us. My first question, Gary, could you tell us what years did you serve as president of the Seattle Temple with your beautiful wife as the main?
We went from September 1st of 1995 to November 1st of 1998. We had Eugene Hansen, Elder Eugene Hansen, who is the executive director of the Temple Department, call us towards the end of our service and ask us, would you like to extend for a couple months, because they were going to change the temple president seminar. And Linda said, well, how about extending us 2 more years? That's how much we loved it. So
Wow. Tell us a little bit about the people that came. What region did that include?
Well, our temple district went from the Oregon border to the North Pole and from Montana to the Pacific Ocean. And that was the Seattle Temple District. We had 58 stakes in our temple district. If you can imagine, back in 95, 58 stakes up in the Northwest. I had no idea there was that many until we moved up there.
Tell us where White Lightning came from. I understand you had a favorite nickname.
Well, when we first got there, first thing the brothers said, she's too young, she walks too fast, and so they nicknamed me White Lightning.
It didn't take them long to come back into her office and say, we take it all back, we love you.
When did you come to the Salt Lake Temple as a sealer?
Well, I was set apart to preside over the Seattle Temple by President Monson, Thomas Monson, and also during the same setting apart, he conferred the sealing power on me. And that was in August of 1995. So that is a lifetime calling, like a patriarch. I'm still, although I've been released because the Salt Lake Temple is closed, I'm still a sealer.
I'm so happy to hear that, because we have about 40,000 Heiner names that we need to have their work done.
Wow.
And we have been in 14 sessions with you, starting in...
I've treasured every one of them.
What does it mean to you, Gary, to be a member of the Heiner family?
But I'm proud to be a 5th generation member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And that some of my ancestors came from Germany. And that my great-grandfather ran cattle up in Morgan County. And one of the great canyons up Echo Canyon is called Heiner's Canyon. And I had the privilege of walking and riding a horse in the same area that my great-grandfather did. So I can only say that I'm highly blessed to be a descendant of the Heiners, what they gave up to leave Germany. It's amazing to me that they had that kind of faith. In those days too, cross the Atlantic Ocean in small boats to traverse this continent. In reading the history of Daniel Heiner, he came into this valley as a young boy with his father, Martin, and they settled over close to what is now Bingham Canyon. And they lived in a 1-room log cabin, and it was a dirt floor, and the only food they had was what they could go out and find. And jackrabbits was their main food. Now that is what you call consecration.
And we were able to go to Scotland and England and do other side of the family genealogy in Gordon's,
How great.
you know, and then our children came over and we showed them Bossagun and Waldorf, Martin and Adelgunda's homelands. We did Heiner family names in 7 temples,
Wow, how fun.
including the Rome Temple. And
Wow.
that was really, that was right at the end. Gary, what was it like to be the sealer as we all gathered to do Heiner family names?
It was the last day that the temple was open. It was on a Saturday.
We were in a very special room.
Yeah.
I think it was your favorite room.
Oh, I love it. It's you go into the celestial room of the Salt Lake Temple, and on the east end of the room, there's a flight of stairs going up to seating room number 3. That is a special place in the Salt Lake Temple.
To me, as soon as I stepped in to the sealing room, I was no longer on this earth. I felt like I was in heaven, and this was the reunion. And this is what it's going to be like when I get to the other side, to have that family around us. And so,
Well, I remember crying, and I remember you saying, "They're here.
Yeah.
I feel it." And I looked around the room, and all of our relatives were teary-eyed, and at the end, I think we were able to bear our testimony. I felt very strongly that I needed to connect with Family Search, and worked with them for 3 years before they said, "We cannot get in, Archeon cannot get in, and Ancestry cannot get in to get the parish records because of the Freiburg Temple. They have blocked Family Search." So Kathleen, start a family fast with your extended family, start a research fund, and hire these people. So I did. And on July 11th, 2016, Gordon and I went over to Germany and met with 4 genealogists and the pastor, and it started this process of getting 40,000 names. We've now accomplished 6 parishes, and we have 6 more to go.
Really?
But it's the
How many
temple
more?
work, the miracles that have preceded to get people to translate and to help us with all of the process, and then to have Heiner reunions. I think we've had 5 reunions where we have been able to gather information for a 1,200-page book that Dana Palmer's writing. And the most important thing to me is that we attend the temple and do the work. It's a combined faith.
Why?
And Martin's church burned down the same time the tabernacle in Provo burned down. So when we met Pastor von Berlepsch, we said, our church is burned to the ground too. And we will help you rebuild it financially. And as we were called back to serve in the Freiburg Temple, I was invited to come play the organ at the 2-day dedication,
Wow.
May 11th and 12th. And this was really a thrill to play the organ. And I bore my testimony of the Savior Jesus Christ, auf Deutsch, to my Heiner cousins there in the congregation. And I was very grateful then to play I Know That My Redeemer Lives on the organ, a little Bach, and a few other hymns. So I bore my testimony in song and in words. So
Well, Kathleen, nobody could have accomplished what has been done in Germany except you. That's amazing. Definitely the powers of heaven have been with you in this whole process, getting into those parishes. It's unbelievable what you've done.
Without your help, Gary and Linda, we wouldn't have had the spiritual opportunities to gather as Martin and Adelgunde Heiner family descendants in the temple. Thank you for your great contributions, enabling the Heiner family research to move forward. Your magnificent leadership as a dignified sealer brought a celestial spirit to each of our sessions. We felt our Heiner family on both sides of the veil rejoice in their temple blessings. Thank you. With all our hearts, Gary and Linda, we honor you.
The Garffs have a beautiful posterity of 49 family members, including 5 beautiful daughters, 21 grandchildren, and now 10 great-grandchildren. We honor them for their righteous examples and leadership.
Dana Palmer, who is writing our 1,200-page Heiner family history book, and I were blessed to meet with Pastor von Berlepsch in Germany 6 years ago. He opened the parish records and showed us a 2-hour tour of Martin Heiner's church, and then let us come into the office and photograph Martin's baptismal record. When Gordon and I returned from our mission serving at the Freiburg Temple in Germany, We attended the Provo Temple with our family and enjoyed watching our children and grandchildren perform baptisms for our Heiner family. It was a thrill.